1620. David Wickard with us, and we're now joined by Brian Wickard as well as we kind of focus in on the devil in the details when it comes to pulling together a mortgage financing package.
Absolutely right. Welcome to everybody, and thanks for listening to the show today. I had a couple examples this week. David, do you want to get started? Are we going to talk about appraisals first or income? What's your pleasure?
Yeah, let's talk about appraisals first, because I think that's the murkiest of all topics when it comes to details.
Yeah, we'd like to think it's a science, but it's really a blend of science and art. The poor appraisers out there, and I feel sorry for every one of them, guys, if you're listening today. Their job is to give an opinion on what the house is worth based on recent closed sales called comparables. And they're supposed to find the most recent sales in the last year, that's one of the parameters, as physically close to the subject property as possible and as similar as possible in all the features. So the case that I was involved in this week was a 2-bedroom home purchase in South Milwaukee. And so the appraisal came in a couple weeks ago. And by Jove, for this 2-bedroom house, every single one of the comparable sales was a 3-bedroom home. And so the Fannie Mae servicer, where we were trying to place the loan, so Accunet doesn't sell loans directly to Fannie Mae. We go through some of the bigger banks and servicing companies and let them kind of do that middle part of the situation. Therefore, they underwrite the loans for us as well. They took a look at that appraisal and said, wait a minute, this is a 2-bedroom house and all the comparable sales are 3-bedroom. We would expect to see an adjustment. Because wouldn't you think, Steve, that a 3-bedroom home would be worth more than a 2-bedroom?
Yeah, you would think.
And so the appraiser made no line item adjustment for the fact that our subject had 2
these 3 bedrooms are exactly like the 2-bedroom and no adjustment.
Right, except for the fact that it's got one more bedroom.
Yeah, okay.
And so the appraiser, they then came back through the appraisal management company and said, please have the appraiser, address this seeming oversight. Well, the guy came back and said, nope, I'm not making any adjustment. Of course, he brought in the value for the subject property right at the purchase price. All right, so what happened? Back and forth. The clock is running. I'm thinking this loan's not going to get approved, because what was about to happen was that the Fannie Mae underwriter was going to deny the loan because the appraisal report was unacceptable, right? Not that it didn't have the good enough value, but that it just was not acceptable because there should have been this adjustment. So we're getting ready to deny that loan. And because we're Accunet, we always have more than one kick at the can, right? Because we have more than one outlet for a 30-year fixed rate loan destined for Fannie Mae. So we get ready to start a new application. That's how we can handle the situation, is we bury the old loan and the appraisal that went with it. And then we start a new application. And lo and behold, when we run the loan information back through Fannie Mae's underwriting system on August 3rd, all of a sudden we get an approval that says we don't even need an appraisal.
Wow.
Oh, man. It's like, oh, my God. Because when we started this loan in late June, the software was version 9.1 for Fannie Mae's automated underwriting system. And in that version of software, it said, get an appraisal. Then on August 3rd, we run it anew, right, because we're going to start over, version 9.2, and it says, don't even get an appraisal.
Come on.
Come on. Okay. How can that be? Well, we felt so lucky because I was sure that we were going to get the same result with the second Fannie Mae servicer, right, on the discrepancy with the 3-bedroom versus 2-bedroom. Meanwhile, we are appealing, pretty please, can't you guys please just reconsider this and cut these people a break and approve the appraisal? Because everything else about this loan is rock solid. And at the last minute, our friends at Wells Fargo came through and approved the original loan with the weird appraisal. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how, but it goes to the point where even when the appraisal comes in at the value, we're not out of the woods yet, because that appraisal report still has to pass muster and meet all the criteria of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. The devil, folks, is in the details.